Morning, and yay, it's working. All sorts of stuff going on. You can see that in the thing. Oh, well. Whoops, now I lost the screen. There we go. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing
It's
good.
Monday.
It is Monday. And
my favorite day.
And it is feeling like a Monday if it's not your favorite day.
That's right. Tony always amazes me. She always comes in and has everything, gets everything all ready and does all the technical stuff. And today's Josh isn't here, and so she's got all this stuff together. She just amazes me, and I just started to walk around and say, well, if there's anything I can do, let me know.
It's kind of hard when it's all technical. So, and this was here when you got here, so you were just a little late, that's all. She was actually early today. Very.
I was on time. But as you can see, our Josh is not here today.
So let's start. Well, I'm Tony.
And I'm Joanne.
And this is...
Cut Up and Sew What's Up.
That's right. We come live every Monday morning at 9 o'clock to talk about things that are happening here at Cut Up and Sew in both our locations in Palm Coast and San Augustine. And our fearless leader is at home resting still. He was afraid to talk this morning because he thought he might lose his voice. And he does have to do some work today. He's going to try to come in later and do some work.
Well, this gives him a chance to do some resting that he hasn't done in a long time.
No, he hasn't. So that's what happens. You get sick. You get, if you get running around, he's learning.
Yeah. So, Josh, when you tune in, we hope you're better soon. But rest up.
And if you're watching on the replay, Josh, hashtag replay. So don't forget to hit those likes and shares and hearts. So it promotes our show so everyone else can see and get to learn about us. We appreciate that. So we do have several friends on. Oops, I always forget. Oh, there it goes. It's going now. Instagram. I always forget to hit that play button on Instagram. So too many things going on today. So I don't have a sticky note, but I do have Josh's sticky note from last week. So, but I have a whole slew of stuff I would love to get to and share. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. And you just finished a retreat.
I did. Our Sleep in Our Bed mystery retreat. Mm-hmm. And I've seen some of the quilts already, and they're really pretty. Just saying.
Pretty. So when are you going to bring some in? Hang them up?
Well, they have to bring them in and show them to me. We'll probably see some today at the sewing studio. Mm-hmm. So we had Jody finish. We had Dot finish. Who else finished? There's a couple other finishers, but they just gotta get their borders on type of thing. But yeah, we'll see them in the Cut Up and Crew Facebook group. So if you're in the Facebook group, Cut Up and Sew Crew, you'll see pictures of the class there when it comes up. And it turned out really nice. So good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody this morning.
I love it when Tony's here because Josh just uses his phone. I never know who's on, but I can actually see who's tuning in. So
that's good because they call you out too. They say, hi. Jeez. Whoever. Joanne today. I had a Joanne in my class on Saturday, and then several people thought it was you. And I was like, no, we have several Joannes that are regulars here.
It's a pretty common name.
I never heard so many. It must be Florida. All the Joannes come to Florida.
Yeah, well, it's an East Coast thing, I think.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Okay.
But it's an East Coast
thing. We can squirrel just as much as Josh. We're practicing because he's not here. So, all right, let's get started with some of the things I want to kind of share and talk about. We're at the last few days of April.
That means
so much. Our Serger month is almost over. We still let's start with our Ryan's Case for Smiles. We did charity sit and sew up in St. Augustine on Saturday. Great turnout. Sherry was really tickled. We had like 8 to 10 people, she said.
Awesome.
Some great pictures she sent me. And Josh had originally said we need 500 donated pillowcases. Well, he decided this halfway through the month, so it's kind of hard to track up. So he changed it last week to 200 because that's what Sherry said would be awesome if we could get 200. So we're at 149.
Oh,
so
if you've
we're
got pillowcases,
so
bring 'em in.
close. We want 200 pillowcases by the end of the day, Wednesday, to give out to Ryan's Case for Smiles this month. So if you can do that, drop them off at either location, and they will be picked up.
And you don't have to do all 200.
Well, there's not 200. There's
you don't have
51.
To do all 50. You don't have to do all 50.
No,
just do a couple.
Just one, maybe 2. Just bring them all in. So make sure they're new. Don't pull the ones off your bed right now. That would be bad.
Yeah,
that'd be bad.
We don't want to do that.
But thank you again. So everybody who came to show up, we've got a charity for May. I'm still working on coordinating that, and we'll talk about that later this week on Study Hall on Saturday morning at 9:00. Did you know today is Pay It Forward Day?
I did not know that. Tell us more about that.
You've never heard about Pay It Forward Day?
No, I know what Pay It Forward means, but I didn't realize there was a Pay It Forward Day.
It's an official date. I had no clue either. It's actually got a proclamation here in Florida, state of Florida.
Really?
It is, I won't say it's a holiday, but it's a national or it's a state recognized event.
How about that?
Okay, cool. So pay it forward. Like if you're in the coffee line this morning at Starbucks or Dunkin's, pay it forward. Get that person behind you. See how long that trickles down. That's always fun. But there's other ways to pay it forward. Ryan's Case for Smiles. I did have that in order for a reason. So that was bringing up. Just think of something to give back to somebody. We love to give back, and we know you do too. And it's a great day to kind of step into that. The other thing that was, we'll talk about that later. Focus. Serger month ends in 3 days as well. Okay. So we have one bundle left. Josh was telling me this morning, one bundle left for our Janome 2000D serger, and you buy the serger and you get the Cover Stitch Pro Janome with it as a bundle set. We have one left, so you might want to come and get it. And then we have all sorts of discounted prices on all the other sergers we carry between our 3 brands. And then don't forget, 3 days left for serger feet and accessories. So if there's a foot, like a cording, a piping foot, a specialty foot for your serger, because yes, sergers have specialty feet, and we don't have it in stock. Go ahead and get it, and we'll order it for you, and you'll get this 20% off over the next couple of days. But you have until April 30th for that as well. Josh is watching.
He is.
He's watching. It is a perfect day to pay for with the pillowcases. Look, and Ryan's Case for Smiles is on. Sherry is on too, and says thank you to the crew at St. Augustine on Saturday. And she wrote names down because we show this on different platforms. So I'm going to tell you, thank you to the crew that was in St. Augustine: Joyce, Virginia, Candy, Melinda, Patty, Jeannie, and Deanna. Awesome, guys. Awesome.
Well, thank you for coming. I was wondering if they're all St. Augustine people or if they came up from Palm Coast or.
I have no idea. Sherry, can you talk into that? Were they all from St. Augustine or St. Johns County, or was there anybody from the Palm Coast region that went up there? Let us know in the comments, please. And there's Pat. Josh says hi to Josh.
Of course.
That's right. That's all right.
He is the star.
He is the star of the show.
Even when he's not here.
It doesn't. And 2 of us still won't replace Josh. A couple other things that we still have going on. You've got the shop hop. That if you are doing the all Florida shop hop, we've got 3 more days of that too. We still have stuff. We still have fabric. We still have passports. It's not too late to at least get one region in. You could do a region in one day, especially our region, the Northeast region. You can totally do in one day. It's a long day, but you can still do it. And if you call the shop, say, hey, I'm on my way, they most likely will stay up. I can't speak for all of them, but we have done that a few times. People have called like 4:30 and say, hey, our GPS says we'll be there by 5. And we'll say, okay, we'll be here. So to just get those final shops in. And don't forget, the most important part about the shop hop is turning your passports in. If you finish a region, you can mail it in, and you get a little a fabric swatch that says I finished the such and such region, which is kind of fun and cool. And you get introduced into door prices. So
it's worth the time.
it is worth the time. And I don't know if you can turn it in if you didn't finish. I think you still can, but I don't know if there's a price for that. So
yeah, you have to finish an area.
You do? Okay. Got to finish an area. So all from St. Augustine, she says, except Deanna. Oh, yeah, we know Deanna. Oh, I wasn't sure if it was the same one, but now I know it's from Deanna. And then Pat, thanks for saying hi to us. I was just teasing you. So yeah, Shop Hop's carrying on. We do have Shop Hop specials. We have the Shop Hop floor canvas quilts. It is 30% off. We have 20% off for pre-cuts. And we have those pink eggs. I didn't bring them. The little fat quarter bundles also for 30% off for if you're shop hopping. So don't forget to ask and tell us and let us know you're shop hopping so you get our discounts for this week. Only 3 days left, though. Can't say that enough. 3 days left.
3 days.
3 more days. All right. Pay for. Okay. That was pretty much my spiel. So
let's search some fabric.
We got some new fabric in, and we're getting more new fabric up in St. Augustine. I think we Josh and I've been talking. I think we need to do a live up there and show some of the new stuff that's coming up there because there's some really cool stuff up there. But we've been getting a lot more Moda. Look, my hair's free. Moda in as well. How do you want to help me do this?
Start here and I'll come over.
She's going to stand in front of the camera and hold up the fabric. So this line is called Color Crush. So this is really interesting. All these pieces you're going to see are all part of this line, but the last two are probably a different colorway. Are we too close?
Just made it.
So this is called Color Crush from Moda. It's that golden yellow and gray palette, which is really pretty.
Really cheddar.
That's a good word. I like that. I think it's more cheddar. I agree with you. It's not orange, it's more golden. But
yeah, it's really pretty. And just lovely tossed flowers on there.
Let's see where we're going to put this. I'll show you where I'm putting them. Right here behind me. Look at that. We improvise.
This is pretty interesting. So to go with the tossed flowers that are very traditional and sweet looking, we have this little geometric here, which is kind of fun. And
I love geometric prints like that. And this is great. What I like to call it a cheater. If you want to use it on your back of your quilt, it looks like it's a piece back, but it's really not. It's like a cheater or a faux. I love the big floral prints.
This is just wonderful. I love this thing. Now, if you're into painting and painting your fabric,
that's a good
wouldn't
idea.
it be fun to cut blocks and then just paint one of your blocks there and to give your quilt a little bit of punch of color?
I love that idea, Josh. Get your ink tents out. That'd be a fun sample, actually. That one's fun too. Again, another geometric kind of texture. I'm not crazy about symmetrical polka dots, but that one's got that little X going on it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a neat little fabric. Okay.
Yeah, these are more cheddars.
So these could easily go with the first one we showed with the tossed flowers.
Now the next three. So this one's part of the pieces that I just showed you. I wonder what the rest of the line looks like. But this is what we got in. So this is the cheddar, and it works with the gray. And then we got two funky ones, which I can totally tell that Josh picked them up because they're funky. This one's got some aqua, lime, and some green going on in it. But again, the polka dots are kind of cool because they're irregular. They are symmetrical, but they're irregular. This one's really Josh.
Yeah. Wow. I would love to see somebody do something with this because honestly, there are fabrics that I look at and think, I don't know what I do with that. And this falls in that line. But I know that there are people out there that can make this look really cool.
This, I think, would be awesome for a border or a binding because of the way the color and the dots shapes are. It'd be great on a binding.
I might have to put it on.
Or even on bias. Yeah, I think it'll look good. Joanne Fufu did it. She didn't like that idea. But you can do whatever you want.
That's right. It. You can. It's your quilt.
Good grief. There's lots of questions or things coming in. So let me check my messages here. This is Josh's job. Oh, Josh is going to do a live from San Augustine. I was going to say San Antonio again. St. Augustine this week. That's cool. And Leah, yes, we've got it coming. We don't know when, but it's going to be here soon because it's already in other places. So it's coming. It's Tula. Would that geoprint match the gray strip ship panel? Ooh, that's a good idea. It might. I think the gray ship is a little more charcoal, but I think it would work. You know what she's talking about, that.
I don't.
Oh,
yes.
big pirate. I like to call it the pirate ship. It's not a pirate ship, but that's what it looks like. So good question, Pat. And the niece says painting some of that. Oh, yeah, we could do some of that in Fiber Play Club. You have that coming up too.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk. I want to talk about that a little bit. Great binding. I can't wait to see someone do binding with that. See, look at y'all. Y'all know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're all on the Tony train.
No, it's Josh's fabric. So
true.
they're on the Josh train. All right. So yeah, that's what I have. I have more, but Joanne's she wanted the second camera. So that's what you see over here. We're going to have a second camera up here in a second because she's going to show stuff now. Let me see if I can get the second camera up.
Okay, let me know when we're ready.
Oh, there it is.
And which way can I?
Nope.
All right. So today, being the last Monday of the month, is Block of the Month Day. And here is the Block of the Month.
Oh, hey, look, it's done in Tula fabrics. Sort
Yes,
of.
it is.
Some of it is. Most of it is,
This is Ruby Star. But anyway, so this is the Block of the Month. And the thing that you're going to learn here, the first month we did just plain squares where we worked on 1/4-inch seams and getting everything put together just really nicely. The second month we did half square triangles. Last month we did flying geese. This month we're doing 1/4 square triangle. And a 1/4 square triangle is essentially 4 triangles put together, and you could just cut 4 triangles and put them together, especially if you just want one. But this is a 1/4 square triangle, and this is one of my discards because it's not quite right. But it's but as you can see, 4 squares. And you want to do them so in this particular case for this block, you want to do 2 colors that are the same going in each direction. So for that, you're going to need, take this away for the time being. Is this in the correct direction? Okay, so for this, you're going to need 4 of 4 3/4-inch squares. Now, I will tell you that if you go, there's a formula for 1/4 square triangles, and the formula is that if you want to make, let's say these are going to be 3-inch squares. If you want to make a 3-inch 1/4 square triangle, then you add a 1 1/4 inch to that final number, and that's how big you will cut your squares. Now, I got to tell you, I have never been able to use that number and actually come out with everything big enough. So I add space to that. So I usually add at least a 1/2 inch and to get the size that I want. So I have it here as you need 4 3/4-inch squares of both your color A and your color B. So you have these two. These two are going to make the half square triangles, or the 1/4 square triangles. Then you need a center square, and the center square here, as you can see, is a square and a square. So to make this, you are going to need something that I can't find.
Oh no,
must be in the car. So anyway, to make this, you're going to need a square like this to go in the center. It's nice to use something that's got some color and some interest, not just a plain block, but you can use what you want. Oh, here they are. So you take your center square like this, and you add your triangles to the edge. Now, the easiest way to do this to make sure it centers nicely is you fold your square in half, you press a seam down the center, you line up the point of your triangle right with that fold line, and then sew. And you can see this is considerably bigger, not a problem. So you're going to sew right along here. You put the next one on the opposite side. You press them, and then you add your last two sides. Now, the best way the best way to trim this up, because you want to make sure you have a 6.5-inch square there, is you're going to take one of my favorite rulers, and I've talked about this before, which is the Creative Grids. This is a 4x8 or 4.5 by 8.5. But the important thing is that it has this cross mark at the top, and that's the 1/4-inch line. And you would just take that cross mark, put it right on your seams, and trim. And if you do that all the way around, you're going to end up with a 6.5-inch square. So once again, doesn't matter if it's a little big when it starts out. That just gives you room to work. And then when you trim it up, it'll trim just to the size you want it. So to make your 1/4 square triangles, the ones that go around the outside, you're going to start out with, this was all organized, but it's no longer that way. So you're going to take, to do all of the 1/4 square triangles all the way around the block, you need 4 of your fabric A, 4 of your fabric B. You're going to put them together like this. You're going to draw a line down the center, and you're going to sew on either side of the line. Now, if you happen to be one of those people that likes, and that's perfectly fine, that likes to draw your sewing lines, then we have this, it's called a quilter's magic wand. And you take it and there's a line that goes down the center here, just like this. And this is from the shop, so it has the paper on it, but you take the paper off and you'll very clearly see this center line here. You put that center line on your corners and you draw a line on either side of it, and that's your sewing line. Now, it's important to remember that when you do that, use kind of a fine marker. You don't want to use a heavy one because then your edges kind of end up incorrectly. But if you use a nice fine marker on either side, it'll give you your sewing line, and you will and you sew on each side. You cut it down the center. Thank you. Tony's helping me here because I was organized, but no longer am. So anyway, you cut it down the center and you have a 1/2 square triangle. And I know you're thinking, well, now what do I do? I've got a 1/2 square triangle. I haven't gotten to where is the 1/4 square triangle portion. So you're going to take this, you're going to open it up. And the thing to remember with the 1/4 square triangles is you do 2 things that I hate to do. You press your seams open and you trim your little dog ears as you go along. And that helps you to keep everything aligned properly, because the dog ears get in your way, and you'll get to a point where if you've pressed everything to the dark, you're going to think, well, I'm going to be able to nest them, but you're actually going to have dark seams right next to a dark seam, and they won't nest. So if you press your seams open, it'll make it easier to bring everything together. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your 2 1/2 square triangles like this, press them, and you're going to put them together so that the dark is next to the light and the light is next to the dark. And you're going to put them together. And you're going to draw, once again, a line that goes down the center, just like this. And you're going to sew on both sides of the line. When you've done that, and before you do that, you want to make sure that you match up your corners right here so that the corners are coming together just very nicely like this. But you also, the hardest part is matching up the center one. So you want to make sure you go back, you match that center so that you know that when the block comes together, it's going to come together very nicely in the corners here. If you don't kind of fold this back and check it, it's not going to match. So you put everything together, you pin it, and you sew from corner to corner. Once you've done that, you're now you have 2 1/4 square triangles, which you're going to press the seams open and you're going to trim the edges. But before you press, you're going to take the Quilt in a Day, one of my other favorite rulers, Quilt in a Day triangle square up ruler. Now, the nice thing about this ruler is that when you find, we want this to be a 3.5-inch square, you find the 3.5-inch line on your square, and you place the 3.5-inch line on the sewing line. And then there's a center line here as well, right here. And you want to make sure that center line lies right on top of the seam line here so that it centers here, and it sits on top of the sewing line there. And that way you'll get a 3.5 inch, and you trim around it, you get a 3.5 inch square. And you want to make sure, you're going to check before you do that to make sure that these two seams are lining up nicely too, so that you don't end up with this, where you have a corner that is where the two fabrics don't come together. And you don't end up with this, where you have a seam off in the center. So so it's important to constantly be checking where your seams are before you trim, before you sew as well. So anyway, these are all made a little bit bigger than you need them, so that you can trim them down. You have lots of room to work there. One of my favorite things to do is have lots of space. Then when you go to put them together, you're going to put them together so that there should have been two. Yes, there are. So that you have your two seam. Your seam is you're going to put them together so that the two dark sides come together there. And now you have your star points right here. So these are your star points. You're going to have 4 squares in the corners, and you will have this. So you add a square to both sides of 2 of your segments of your quarter square segments, and then you have 2 plain. You start by adding the 2 plain to 2 sides of your block, and then you add these nesting up nicely. And so that's your block. The cool thing, I always like this block. It's kind of an unusual star. It's the sort of thing that people look at initially and say, well, how did she do that? But it's actually pretty easy to do. Now, the other thing you can do with these are also called hourglass blocks, and you can take them and you can use them in a border. And you can take them and just alternate them like this. And it makes a really nice little border as well. And then there is a block called the broken dishes block. And it's 4 of these put together, and it makes a block there as well. So there's lots of things you can do with these little quarter square triangles, including making this little square.
Awesome. So what's that, the 4th block in their block of the month journey?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You know the next question. They're going to want it on the Facebook group.
It's already there.
Woo!
I don't have pictures on there yet. I just put it in this morning, so it needs the pictures, but the instructions are there.
Awesome. Whoops. Remove that. Whoops. Now we're nowhere. There we go. Jeez. That was really cool. That's fun. I love it because as you're building and you're doing the other blocks, this is truly a next step in learning more quilting skills and techniques. And you're teaching beginning quilting 2 in St. Augustine starting this Friday, right?
No,
next Friday. Okay, next Friday. So there's still time to sign up. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, and I hope you do. It should be a fun class. It's a nice setting, and you'll be learning half square triangles and flying geese, and actually putting those together in a quilt.
Oh, awesome. That'd be great. I love flying geese and half square triangles for borders too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you do too. I know that because that's a lot of you. I want you to be proud of me. I did. I was doing a project this week, and I ended up with 1 1/4 inch half square triangles.
That's awesome.
That's kind of scary, but I didn't cut the dog ears off because they're like too much work.
Yeah, and I don't always either, and I've taken classes from nationally known teachers who say, well, you don't really have to cut those off. And most of the time I don't, but sometimes you need to so that you can really see the corners.
Yeah, that's true too. That's pretty funny. Well, thanks so much for that. Can't wait. Let's make sure if you're doing the block, post it in our Facebook group. Everything's in our Facebook group, Cut Up and Sew Crew. It's free to join. Somebody will let you in. Just have to apply for it, I think. Mm-hmm. But that's awesome. So yeah, I need to start working on it, especially with all the Tula fabric I have. I love the Tula scraps. Lots of Tula scraps.
Maybe you should share. I'm running low on a couple of them.
Well, actually, can you want to grab those fabrics? I want to start piling
Yes.
up. So the other thing we do every Monday, every Monday we've done for the last month and a half, is talk about our staff picks. And so this week's staff picks are Eve from St. Augustine. She picked Anna Maria Horner. It's Anna Maria Horner, but if you look on the top, it says Anna Maria. Fabrics for 20% off. So if you either location, St. Augustine or Palm Coast, we don't have a lot here, and I think they have more up there in St. Augustine. So check it out. But we've got all. I love Anna Maria. It's very contemporary, very bright, very feminine. Say that 5 times.
This is really cool because it is very bright. It's very contemporary looking. But one of the first patterns I ever saw in a quilt was this block right here, where it had the curve.
The Dresden like stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And it wasn't a Dresden. It was a little bit different, but it just was a traditional block. And she's taken kind of traditional ideas and made them very contemporary, which I think is just a really cool thing.
Yeah, and the way she mixes colors together too, having cool and warm colors in the same palette, it's very unusual.
Yeah,
well, unless you're cave.
It's a great way to kind of play around with color on your own. If you use this as your focus fabric and started picking out some of these colors to go with it, it's a great way to learn color. How to put colors together.
And I'll tell you right now, on the camera, it only looks like it's 2 colors, but there's actually lots of colors of this one. The camera made it look really gray.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 colors
and
with
then
different
saturations.
variations.
Yeah. And then these are just some of them. I just pulled a couple just so you get the idea of what her style is and what you can look for in the stores that might have her name on. So on the top of the bowl, all you got to look for is Anna Maria. And those fabrics are going to be 20% off.
So I don't know if you can see this.
Cover the price tag though.
Oh, sorry. So
and bring it closer.
It does say Anna Maria right on the top.
Yeah, it does. Spirit. Yeah, all Free Spirit. We love Free Spirit. We have lots of them in both locations.
And I love these. I love how these make great borders.
Yes, this one's interesting because it's the border is the stripe is going length of the fabric versus horizontal.
Yes, so you have to buy a lot of fabric. That's okay.
That's nothing wrong with that. Border. That's right. And then the other pick is my pick. So before you even put up there, I'm sure we should let's see who guess. Who wants to guess what my pick is? That'd be like, if you don't know who I am and you don't know, guess what? You'll know me really well, really fast. So this Saturday is the first Saturday of the month. We have skipped a month for Tula Club, but it's back, and we're going to wrap up our spring challenge this month. So this week, before the new Tula comes in, the new Tula will probably be in next week. But so you can get 20% off the Tula we currently have in stock, and we have Tula in both locations and heavily in both locations. We have lots. A lot of the blender pieces, like the polka dots, the palms, the tent stripes, and then we have some older pieces from other lines, which are great to add with Tula stuff. Tula's stuff is really good because it works across lines. So this one's from Untamed. I love that flower print.
Yeah, just
big and bold.
The block that we just did, it has that center square. Here.
Just toss it over the top of that.
The center square.
Would be perfect with all those flowers. Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun.
And these are called dinosaur eggs. They're big palms, big polka dots. So I love that one. It'd be great for a bag.
Yes.
And I'm saving this one because this one we used as part of our challenge. So what we did for Tula Club is I gave everybody in the club a little piece of this fabric, and they had to make a challenge out of it, table runners. So we're going to see those table runners this weekend, and they get entered into a door prize of a gift certificate. So it's very much fun to be part of Tula because we have a lot of fun with Tula.
That is fun. Okay.
Whew. We always have so much going on. We didn't set up very well this morning. So 20% off of all Anna Maria and Tula fabrics this week only in Palm Coast and St. Augustine. And then I'm making sure I've got everything else. Our code word for today is comedy. There's a reason for it. So today, when I was looking up what's the national holiday, it's actually called Clean Comedy Day.
Oh,
I thought, well, that's a perfect word. And our fearless leader is taking comedy classes at the local comedy club.
Oh, how fun.
He didn't need classes. He has his own show right here.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
But
weren't we the Quilt Comedy Show? Or
that's
something?
right. That's right. I wonder what we're going to have to do to keep up now. Do we all have to take a class in comedy?
Let's hope not. I don't have time for classes like that. So the code word for our cash pig and cash cow is comedy. And what that means is when you come in and pay with cash, And you don't have to do the whole, he always likes to say, you don't have to do the whole transition in cash, but if you pay any part of it with cash, you get a ticket for a door prize, which we'll draw next Monday. We do a monthly door prize of $25 for both locations. And you just say the word comedy, and you'll get 2 tickets for cash.
Two chances to win.
2 chances to win. Just this one. Well, you can win all month long if you put in your chances over and over. You know, you always need thread. You always need machine needles. You always need something.
I know I spend a little bit more time here than I always expect. And it's hard to leave without spending money.
Yeah, let's just imagine if you worked here. It's always hard. So, Talabelle and Josh, well, if you want to, I didn't want to say too much, Denise, because I asked, but if you follow Josh, he is doing a graduation of comedy club in a couple of weeks. So, and I'll let him talk into that, Denise, because he doesn't want to offend anybody, because it's not your typical comedy. So it's not clean comedy. That's the best way to say it. But that's why it's really funny. Oh, I know. See, it's shocking. That's why I didn't want to say anything. Oh, but yeah, he graduates in a couple of weeks, so he's got an event coming up here at our local comedy club, which is right next, right across the parking lot. Yeah. So a little insight into Josh, which you may not have already known. I know that I didn't know. That was kind of fun. We always learn something new and weird. And Josh says Anna Maria is no longer with Free Spirit. But then why do we have her? We still have Free Spirit Anna Maria. So she's going to be changing directions, I guess. So this is called out of print fabric then. You're not going to get this fabric again. So you got to get it now, which 20% off. That's right. That's how we do that. So did I miss anything else? How long is 20% for? It's through Saturday. It's the whole week, Miss Barbara, and it is not on the website. Unfortunately, when we're doing fabric, because we have so many fabrics, we can't get in the website and discount it all. So it's an in-store promotion only. So, and don't forget, I forgot to mention earlier, is Caterpillar's 2 products, the premium board, which is I think 18 by 20. It's the medium-sized board. It's the rechargeable. We have a couple left in stock, and they're 40% off. They are up in St. Augustine, but if you're here in Palm Coast, we will gladly bring you down one, but there's not that many left. Once they're gone, they're gone. And then the basic, the one that plugs in, I think we have quite a few, but they're still both of them are 40% off until they're gone. We want them gone because there's something coming. So, don't forget, Serger Month wraps up this next couple days. We've got lots of specials. Come in and talk to this crew here. We'll hook you up with something that fits your budget and fits your style of serging. Shop Hop ends on Wednesday as well. And then we have May 1st. And we've got some great things planned for May. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. We were talking about it this morning. So, comedy is the code word. I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. I think you've done it. Let's see. Look at his sticky note from last week. Yeah, everything is the same. So you guys have a great day. Live to create. And enjoy that time of creation in your life, and let us be a part of it. That's right. We love to share and be inspired. Have a great day. Have a great week, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.